Remember, thoughts or mind is a 2D image. So when I observe my thoughts, I create the inwardness. So I add to the 2D image the 3D effect. So because I observe my thoughts, when it observes back to me, it observes me with a 3D. And this brings about a proper discovery of me. And it's the only way where I am is revealed to me. You know, I've been thinking. As usual, I'm always a thinker. You know, the universe, the space and the time of the universe is expanding. It expanded because it came at the beginning from a black hole. It was zero, and then it expanded to a large universe. But the question in my mind is a very simple question. What is it expanding to? That's something very intriguing. You must remember that before the universe was in this year, was there anything? Well, let's look at science, okay? Science says there isn't anything. Not even a space, not even a time. Suddenly, from the black hole, there's a big explosion. And what happened? The universe started to expand from that moment. Okay, so the question in my mind is, it's expanding, no doubt, it's expanding. But what is outside the universe? Of course, it's nothing, right? Because there was nothing in the first place and the universe exploded. So what is it expanding to? So let me try to explain by comparing it to my body. When I was a baby, I'm a small little cute body, but this cute body expanded. So that's what's happening. I'm now a bigger body. That's right. So how did I expand? I expand into myself. Am I right to say that? The space of my body expands, and so is the time expanding. So I can see that the universe is like a body of mine, and it's expanding. Am I not right? It has to be so. But what is it expanding to? That's the question I'm asking, right? Okay. Now, I can see around me, isn't it? So I'm expanding to what is around me, right? Yeah. But that's because I can see what is around me. I'm using my consciousness to see what's around me. But if I had no consciousness, then there's nothing around me except my body. My body is still there. The universe will still be there. But if I don't see what's around me, it's like equivalent to nothing. But right now it isn't nothing because I could see. I'm aware. But please note, I'm using science in my understanding. I'm not using religion. So based on science, the universe as I know is expanding. But what is around the universe is nothingness. Space-time is expanding from the black hole. But what is outside this universe is nothingness. And when you say nothingness, I don't mean a space without anything. What I meant is that there is not even a space or a time outside the universe. And when I compare that with my body, in fact it's the same. Because all I know that exists is my body, which is expanding from the day I was a boy to now. And age is also expanding, so time is also expanding. But what is around me is actually nothingness. I'm using science. But why am I looking at everybody around me? That's because the true observer within me is watching. And that is why my mind could decode and say that there is something here, there's something here, there's something there. But in fact, there is nothing. It's just that the true observer is watching from within me. That's how I explain the phenomena. You see, when I'm sitting down on the chair right now, what is that chair? Now that chair is also nothingness. Just as the universe sits on nothingness. But the reason why I sense a chair, which I'm sitting on, is because the mind reacts as a result of the true observer watching the universe. The true observer opens space-time, and my mind, which is space-time, sees the opposite polarities. That's how I explain what is taking place. That is why when we have communication with people around in this world, or communication with anything that is taking place in this world, it's only a space-time phenomena. It involves space, it involves time. But the I am, which is the true observer, is not within space-time, but shines through space-time during a nullification. I've used many terms: space-time, nullification, I am, the true observer. For more information about that, you need to see my videos. They are very important definitions which I use, for otherwise, how will I be able to explain the world I lived in? I have to concisely describe the world using a language which I have created, which only meant for me, but very important language, because they help a person with a mind to understand the universe. So this understanding that I'm having, and which I'm recording in this video, is very important. And why? Notice very carefully. It is a true observer that shines. And he shines if it's a he. But he's not a he. So, but he shines from a place, if that's a place, but it's not a place. He shines from a no space, no time. I don't know where. But the true observer is I am. When I am shines, immediately space-time opens. And that's the reason why when space-time nullifies, it returns back to I am. So when I am shines from within me, space-time opens. And why do we need a space-time? We need it because space-time is the mind. And we observe the universe through our mind, not through I am. I am is a shiner from within me. But when we open our eyes to observe, we are just using the mind to observe the world. And that's the reason why When we use the mind, we could see the surface of things. And we see objects, so-called objects. But these objects are not actually complete, because they are just only one side of a dual polarity. So when we engage in space-time with other people, we are not engaging in a full communication process. And that's the reason why there's a lot of conflict that exists in a communication in space-time. It is necessary for communication purposes, but it doesn't bring about a full peace and union with everybody. For a union to take place, we need at the same time, remember I used the word, we need simultaneously the I am. Because the I am is the unity, the union. And only through the I am together with space-time, we create a reality that we now live. And both space-time and I am is a very important component of reality. In a way, you can say that reality is made up of two parts, space-time and I am. And although I am is a creator of space-time, but I am requires the space-time so that the mind can see objects. But the mind is not the creator of space-time. It is the I am who is the creator of space-time. And therefore we must go back to I am to control space-time. Now this part is very important. When the I am shines, it shines as a first person. And as a result of which we cannot see ourselves when I am shines, because I am shines from the first person. So how do we see ourselves? We see ourselves only when the shining turns and returns back to see us. How does it return back to see us? It returns back to see us through space-time. Space-time is the other side that sees the I am. That's why it is important to have space-time. Without space-time, there is no seeing of me. I am shines outward, but to see I am, I need a space-time to see me. And that's why we use our mind to think about ourselves. Our mind is space-time, and space-time is a reflection. The light shines from within and is reflected back, and when it gets reflected back, we view space-time. We view the mind. So this mind which sees us is the only way we use to see ourselves. But the problem is about the mind is that the mind has got space and distance. And what it sees us will never be the truth. It sees only an image, but it doesn't see an inwardness. So because of that, it doesn't see the truth of ourselves. It only sees an image of ourselves. That's why no matter what or how you describe yourself, you're never describing yourself in the truth. So how do we therefore solve the problem? How do we make our mind see ourselves in a proper way? The secret is to observe my thoughts. I need to observe my thoughts. I observe my thoughts because when I do that, I observe my mind, because thoughts is the mind. So when I am observe the thoughts will turn black because of the nullification effect. Remember, thoughts or mind is a 2D image. So when I observe my thoughts, I create the inwardness. So I add to the 2D image the 3D effect. So because I observe my thoughts, when it observes back to me, it observes me with a 3D. And this brings about a proper discovery of me. and it's the only way where I am is revealed to me. That is why the observation of a thought from the observer, which is my meditation practice, has brought about a complete wholeness in me. This is the secret of life. You will notice that the name of God is I am that I am. When I observe my thoughts, I am actually declaring that name of God. I'm actually saying that the I am is I am. Many people are simply reading the Bible, and they thought that when God's name is I am, that I am, they begin to utter among themselves and they say, oh, I know God because I know I am. But remember this, what I've just said in this video. To declare the name of God is actually an action. It is not a thought. So you need to perform the observation of your thought in order to declare the one God, I am that I am. I close this video, very important video. I want to add, how do I know all this? Number one, it all began when the angel spoke to me and said to me that I must connect the yin and yang together and speak in between. That's the only way all my prayers will be answered. I didn't understand what it meant, but I investigated on that very important tip which the angels told me in a near-death experience. And as a result of which, 30 years later, I'm able to do what the angels told me to do. Secondly, my process of investigation is into science and not into religion. I don't believe in faithless faith. I believe in scientific truth. Thirdly, in my research, I communicate with myself. And how did I do that? Through my dreams. The dreams of my night is awesome messages to me. Actually, in truth, there's also a dream taking place in the day. You don't realize it. You just have to follow my videos to discover that there's a dream as well in the day. You need to commune with yourself, and you can only commune with yourself through a dream. Why? Because a dream is like the mind or the space-time. And when you communicate with the dream, you actually communicate with the opposite part of you, so that that opposite part of you communicate back to you. And this creates a wholeness. And this is I am. Pure logic doesn't solve the problem. Just simply thinking with your mind doesn't solve the problem. Using space-time by itself will bring about conflict. Automatically. Whether the conflict comes from him, from her, or even from yourself, it will arise if you use space-time. You need to commune with yourself. Only yourself on the other side can provide the answer for you. There is no savior out there. Listen carefully to the Torah. It says, I, the Lord, am your savior, and there is no other.